welcome back to my channel. We have a special guest. Whoop, whoop. And today we are having, I think it's El Salvadorian food. Right, so what I got for us. So for me personally, I got chicken quesadillas because I'm not that adventurous.
Good.
Right?
I should have got that.
And what did you get?
I got a chicken burrito, just like a little baby burrito. It's perfect.
All right, we got some plátanos, right? And then I ordered some yuca fries, but they ran out, so he gave me something else. Oh, he gave me some more plátanos. Trifling. Because he didn't want to give me my $2.
He's like, not here.
He's like, you want something else? I can give you fries. No, I don't want fries. I came for the yuca.
What's the sauce?
I don't even know.
All right, we're going to try that.
Drinking water.
Yes. Stay hydrated.
Yes. Una botella de agua. All right, do you pray? Are you a praying person? Okay, so we can say our silent prayer and then we can, because not everyone wants to pray.
Okay.
So, all right, ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm Blair. I am from the area of Baltimore originally.
We're in Baltimore.
Baltimore City, West Baltimore City. So right deep in the heart of it, Emerson Avenue, Poplar Grove. I can rattle off the streets. Family's still born and raised down there. You know, they're still down there themselves. And I've been up here for about 8 years now.
Okay.
So I'm so close.
So you live where they mentioned your street in that song.
Well, oh yeah. Don't get me started. Yes. Oh yeah. Poplar Grove was mentioned. Emerson Avenue. Like, you gotta rep your hood.
Yes. I'm like, wait.
Proud of it. Yes. Baltimore proud.
Let's go.
So I've been here for about 8 years, and yeah. So been so far.
So you like
close to my family.
Okay. All right. So what are we talking about today?
I'm gonna talk about being an only child, and kind of like, I guess, like the bonds I've made since, like, becoming an adult and growing up, and those things, like, you don't even know that you miss, by being an only child until you get like girlfriends and things like that. So it's interesting. It's definitely something I know you wanted to hear me talk about. I actually grew up with like all my cousins. We were all in the same house, so it kind of felt like I had siblings for like most of my life. But then I got that taste of like being an only child and have my own room and stuff. Oh my God, you couldn't tell me nothing. But yeah, I grew up with like a whole bunch of cousins around me, so it didn't make any difference until I got older. And then I met friends and all of that, and then I was like, okay, I really probably did miss out a little bit, but it was all good. And I was raised by a single mom, so.
All right, so what was that like being raised by a single mom and being an only child?
It was interesting. My mom, she's a fairly young mom. She had me at 21.
Okay.
So not like too young.
Yeah.
But I had to take some of these. But we had like a whole like neighborhood family atmosphere.
Let me show him.
Oh, yes.
Deliciousness. Sorry.
I said, Lord,
I know, right?
So we had like a really like tight-knit family. We all grew up in the same house, on Poplar Grove in Baltimore. Like, so it really didn't feel like it was just her and I until I grew up and became a teenager, and then we moved out, got our own place. But yeah, she's a fairly young mom, and she still wants to kind of like live her life a little bit. So
what was that like?
I was raised by my grandmother, the typical story. Grandma steps in, takes the lead for like a third of my life, and then my mom started stepping in more. So yeah, I mean, it really I didn't notice that it affected me until I grew up and tried to like make friends and all that stuff, and I was like, wow, like.
So how like, what does that even mean?
Well, like, I was a loner for the most part. Like, I like to separate myself, and like I'm still like that to a certain extent, because people just people exhaust me, to be completely honest.
People
like,
being people.
Yeah, people just exhaust me. So sometimes but no. But yeah, I was like always a loner pretty much. So I just kept that way.
Did that make you feel some type of way, or you were okay with being alone?
Even still to this day, like I can get up and go by myself, like, but then I realized, like, with having girlfriends and stuff like that, like, there is a level of like responsibility you have to play in people's lives because they want you to be around. I'm like, really? Like, I'd be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, I don't really be like that. Like, oh my gosh,
mind you,
my friends.
Mind you, she's in a sorority.
Right, shocker of the year, right? And I chose this.
I want to be alone.
Oh my gosh. There's been plenty of times I'm like, y'all, I can't. Like,
too much, right?
I'm muting this whole chat. Like, I love y'all, but I just need my space sometimes, like. So when I'm out, like, I'm out and I'm present. But then when I'm ready to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
They put enough rice in it, though.
Is it good?
It's good. It's just more rice in it.
It's on a scale of 1 to 10, like.
It's like a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, it's sliding on a 7.
Listen, I waited almost an hour for a 7. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Parmigiani is chicken quesadilla. It's hitting.
Oh my god. Can I get a piece? Just to let people know, Chanel and I know each other.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, from volunteering at this kitchen in DC, Loaves and Fishes. Y'all should definitely come out. It's just been an interesting couple of years, just like you said, with the sorority and, meeting new friends, meeting you, like other people, like, it's really expanded what I thought, sisterhood was at first, because I didn't have any sisters. I actually do have a half brother on my father's side, but my father and I are not close, so I didn't really know him and we're not really in touch as much as we should be. So I've always been an only child, basically, on paper.
So how old is your brother?
He's 2 years older than me.
And he hasn't reached out?
He has, actually.
So
he has.
You're not receptive? Like, what's that about?
I'm receptive, yeah. It's just hard for us to stay in touch. He has a baby, and, I'm doing my own life and trying to get myself together. So, we never really had each other. Like, we never really had a close connection, so we're kind of starting off from scratch every time we see each other. It's just, not the typical brother and sister, like I see you play around.
So at what age did you discover you had a brother?
I met him when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a very interesting story behind that. Long story short, I didn't know, like, my father was, like, alive until my mom was so shady. I love her to death, though. She was trying to protect me.
She killed the
in
man.
the craziest, creative way.
For 16 years, she killed that man?
He was there for, like, a smooth 12, 14 years. I just kept asking questions, like, can we go see his gravesite? Like, da-da-da. I was a very inquisitive child. And she tried to throw all the lies at me, God bless her Christian heart. And then she finally told me, like, one summer, like, he was alive, he lives in Baltimore.
How you feel?
What? I was excited. I was like, I'm gonna meet him and stuff.
You weren't mad at her?
After the fact, yeah. Because I didn't get it. I was so young that I was just, like, ready to, like, have a relationship. And then long story short, like, him and I met, I was really happy, but then, like, things just fell out and he never really kept in touch. So it just became one of those scenarios,
Yeah.
And my mom was super, like, bitter about it and everything. But then I found out I had a brother through that. So we actually decided to meet up.
He told you? Your daddy told you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, he was a junior.
Okay.
So we met. It was like, oh my God. It was like, that Spider-Man meme where they, like, went at each other. It's literally like we look exactly alike.
Really?
Just a male version.
Mm-hmm. So that must mean you look like your dad.
Yeah.
Look anything like your mom?
A little bit. The older I get, I started to see similarities. But in the beginning, I'm like, I didn't look anything like you. So, yeah, we met when I was 16, he was 18. And it's just been on and off ever since, but I'm trying to get that back. But when it comes to, like, breaking out of that only child mode, it's still difficult at times, but, like, joining the sorority and having friends, like, outside of, like, the friends I grew up with, and meeting new people that I'm getting, like, close to organically, like, that changed the game.
Is that weird?
At first.
Like, what made it weird?
Because people, like, expect you to, like, be around and stuff. It's like, please leave me alone. You know, like, it's like, I've never had sisters before. Mm-hmm. Like, I had cousins who were sisters, but, like, it's just, I don't know. It's almost different. It's different. It's different.
You
have
sisters,
feel like, right?
Yeah. Now you feel like you're responsible for other people.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And it's cool because, you know, that means they love me. You know, I love them too, but it's a lot. I be wanting to do my own thing. And it's funny because a lot of my best friends are only children too. It's like a pack of us.
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah. Get him. I'm like Area 51 of only children. like you and you. Like, yeah. But you can tell how we play each other's like sister roles. Like, I'm kind of like the middle child, and I have my other friend who's like the oldest one, the one who's young and wild and crazy. Yeah. And we all look at each other like sisters. Like, you can see how subconsciously like we play that role. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can never get away from sisterhood.
That is so crazy. Are some of those girls you're referencing are your line sisters? Mm-hmm. No?
Friends from college.
Okay.
Yeah, we graduated together. But my line sisters, yeah, I love them too. 2 of them I actually like went through this whole process with them even before, and I met them years ago. Mm-hmm. And they become 2 of my best friends, and I love them. Like,
and they're not only children?
No. Mm-mm. So, breaking up the pattern. Yeah. Okay.
So why do you think your mom kept your dad a secret?
He was just into a lot of bad stuff when I was growing up. Okay, yeah. But he was also like a Rolling Stone too. So like, he's still that way.
But he ain't rolling that much. He only got 2 y'all.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. What's your dad's name? Like, my child. Right. I'm telling you, you gotta check out here in these streets, messing with him. Because, yeah.
Gotta do a 23andMe.
Mm-hmm. Before I date anybody, I'm like, what's your father's name? How old is he? What's his date of birth? Like, it's sad. He's still out here in Baltimore doing his thing. But now that I'm older, I get her reasoning. Yeah. When I was younger, I was like, no, I just want to meet him. You know? Because I really had like a big family, like a mother, father, brother.
Did you have any male role models?
Mm-mm.
That's why
I grew up with all women.
Oh, wow.
All women.
So
love them to death.
How does being an only child raised by all women, not having a relationship with your father, affect your relationship with men?
Oh my God, it's like therapy on YouTube. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure a lot of people can identify.
Yeah. It's so common. You'd be surprised. Even people with 2-parent households like go through so much. But yeah, my relationship with men has been it's been interesting. It's been up and down. 'Cause I've never really seen a full-on relationship, like a successful one. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom dated and everything, but I didn't like them just off jump, just because they were with my mom and I was very protective. So, I mean, when I grew up, and actually, I was a late bloomer at everything. So I didn't start really getting into guys 16, 17, going into college. Like, I care less about guys at that point. And I grew up a tomboy, so I was just like, they were my friends first. And then I grew, you know, and then puberty hit really early for me, and then they started looking at me different. I'm just like, come on. I used to wear a whole bunch of baggy stuff. Like, I hated being a girl. I hated the girls. Oh, yeah. And they've been here forever. Like forever. I'm like, man, y'all ruining all the fun. I used to play basketball on the team, and then I didn't want to wear no bras. Like, I was like, you know, I could be like the guys. No. Wasn't happening. But, yeah, I really didn't get into guys until really late, like towards college. And then it was just a mess. Because, like, you're in college, so it's like, you know, you doing what you do in college, and ain't nobody trying to have a relationship. Yeah. So it's like, yo, everybody walking around looking crazy, not knowing what they doing, you know. So, I mean, I have a good relationship right now. I'm in a relationship. He's a really good guy. I'm enjoying that. But before, oh my gosh, I probably messed up so many people's lives.
You messed them up?
Probably. Yeah, just being like real flighty, and I'm the type of person like I get up and go as I please, you know. So I realized that was one of my issues that I had to work out, you know, and I'm still working out now. It's just like that abandonment, you know, issues with like dad and all that stuff. Because I'm quick to abandon other people because of that. Because I like rather leave before you leave me, you know. So yeah, sometimes I consciously do it because I know like, okay, time's up. Like it's time to go there, you know, back up.
Roll out.
Yeah. So, but I'm getting better at that because somebody deserves that, like that ghosting thing, you know. So,
and ghosting is terrible.
Yeah, psychologically, like
it really ghosting can really mess a person up. But I mean, sometimes you do need to ghost depending on if it's like a toxic relationship.
Oh yeah,
you know, very toxic. So sometimes you just don't want to have any type of interaction or kind of rile that person up so they can cause any type of. But like if you just, it's like, you know, the situation is normal,
right?
And you're just like, yo, I'm out. Like that can be very hurtful.
Yeah,
too.
And I have to be just more responsible to people in general, and not like just, you know, play with their feelings and all that stuff. So
you were a player.
But like, they're not saying that. I was a very good person, you know. It was very monogamous, you know. I was a serial monogamous. But you know,
I mean,
in college, I was, you know.
No, I'm not saying like cheating. I'm just saying like date someone and then you're done and then you move on to somebody else. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I would not disrespect you by saying.
Oh yeah.
You were not no. All right, this is done.
Right. I mean, to each his own. If you thought about, I mean,
that's
you
your
do
business.
what you do. Right. You know, keep it safe. But yeah, no. On to the next. You know. So I've learned mistakes. I'm about to be 30.
Okay.
So
if you know her and she's broken your heart.
What is protection? I need my glasses. It's going to be a witness protection program. My name is Janine Smith. Like, I don't know who.
Comment below.
Witness protection program 555-8053. Like,
If you recognize
I got a lot of doppelgangers too in DC, so it's probably one of them. This is a wig.
Listen.
It's coming off.
No, this beautiful thick hair is not a wig.
Yeah.
And she went to FSU, if you know where that is.
Florida State University. Got my degree in economics. Yeah.
If you know her and she ghosted you and she broke your heart, comment below.
Subscribe, then comment. Give my girl them likes. Thank you.
Yes, like it. And then let her know that you went through therapy and you're fine.
Right.
And you worked it out with your therapist.
They're probably all in the same like anonymous program talking about me. It's so sad.
Walking back and forth.
Yeah, I was a mess. I was a whole mess.
That's funny.
Like, I'm about to be 30 this year. Like, I'm trying to change and get better. So, yeah, all that really taught me a lot, like, about myself. And I went to therapy this year. Like,
wait a minute. Because that's definitely one thing that I was going to ask. Because throughout all these interviews that I've been having with different people, guys, we have so many great interviews coming. So
it's cracking up at work.
in each scenario, there's like some type of trauma. That's the first thing I ask about. Is therapy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That from the storm?
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. We need the light.
No, we just stirred up some spirits. Like, stay like, talk therapy and the lights go out.
I know.
Was it like a hurricane warning?
That's my that's my printer.
Dang, did it just start raining like that, or?
Oh, that might be the air. Guys, my printer starts making noises and I hear this something going on and I'm like, is that the...
We're about to have a mukbang by candlelight with this, okay?
I got hella candles. All right, so
As soon as we start talking about therapy, see what happens?
yeah, so we were talking about, especially in with minorities, that's not really common.
Yeah. And it's sad. I mean, I feel like it should be a lot more. I feel like we have so much to benefit from it, like out of any other race. Because not just because of the trauma that we go through in our family life and our friends and love lives, but systematic drama, in the Black community.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it ain't for me.
I thought this was like some type of sweet.
I don't know what it is, but I've been putting it on there. Not even tasting it.
This is like some type of cheese.
For real?
Yeah. And it's not sweet.
It's like cream cheese.
It's cream cheese.
That's interesting. I don't know that.
I don't know.
I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to be sweet.
I was expecting it. That's I'm like, ain't no sugar in this. Oh man,
I'm thinking everything. I wasn't even thinking about it.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I saw your face. I was like, it might be good. I don't know. Interesting. A very interesting place, Taco 5.
Yeah. So, what made you seek counseling?
Just basically all the issues that I was just, mentioning about my dad, my mom, being the only child really couldn't it's not issues, but it does give you this mindset, like, I'm out here on my own, I'm good. Like, you don't really get what brotherhood and sisterhood is, You don't
have anybody to share your experience with, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like if you had a sibling, you'd be like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I can't believe Dad's not involved with us. But when you're by yourself, it's like, and then after discovering that your mom kept your dad from you for so long, she had her reasons.
Yeah.
You can't really go to her and be like, this is how I mean, you can, but how comfortable are you to go to her and say, this is how I feel?
It took me a while because I resented her for a little bit from keeping it from me. They ain't playing with this little hurricane thing. My mom must hear me talking about him. She called him God, child. She's like, you forgave me already. What you talking about anymore? Love her to death.
You still bringing this up.
But dang, it is really raining.
It's raining hard.
Yeah, but I forgave her since then. But I realized I still had internal stuff that I had to deal with. So therapy really helped. I need to go back. I just been so busy. Don't ever get too busy for self care. I was saying therapy is a form of self care. So don't neglect it. I know I've been neglected for a few months because I'm just so busy, but a busy life shouldn't get in the way of therapy. So it's been really helping.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your mom's relationship like with her father?
She had none. We had we still don't know who he is. We know his name, but
she don't know who her dad is.
The men in my family have been I don't know. They vanished into thin air one day, and that was it. So it's really, really weird. It's
is she an only child?
She has 2 sisters. She's the middle.
And they all have the same father?
Different fathers.
All 3 of them?
And my grandmother never married any of them. It's so weird. All the guys in my family just vanished.
And then all 3 of their dads had nothing to do with the girls?
Never met any of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know how traumatic?
It's crazy. And
tragic that is?
Yeah. You don't put it into perspective until you get older, and you're like, dang, that was kind of messed up.
Messed up.
Yeah.
So then I'm not saying this is your mom and your aunt or whatever, but that would cause a woman to seek that type of relationship that she's missing.
Oh yeah.
Her father in men.
Yeah.
And affects her poor choices in the men she dates. Because, she hasn't had the experience of a good guy.
Yeah, that's so true.
So you date until you find someone that's
yeah.
And sometimes you end up dating multiple men and having children by multiple men because that's just, a void. And sometimes the casualty of you trying to discover that love is. Not to say children are a casualty, but in context, you know what I mean? Like, you may end up having a child, and then that doesn't work out, and the new one that you see is better than the last one. Just like you give them a chance, things are going well, and then
it's a vicious cycle. And I don't think any
of them gotta do better, y'all.
Yeah. I don't think any of them have been to therapy. Like, I think my generation is probably the first that actually like did something about it.
Mm-hmm. So your cousins, did they know their dad? All the girls that grew up in the house?
Yeah, they knew their dads. They were kind of in and out though, their dads, you know. So nobody was married in my family. Like, people just, you know, come and go. So you just see that and you're like, okay, it is what it is, you know, with people. So if I had like a male role model, like, I'm sure things would have been, you know, a little bit different. Yeah. I mean, because I see like, you know, daughters with their dads or like with their uncles or like, you know, father figures, and it's, you know, you can tell there's a difference in that bond. That's a bond that's like, I can't get with my mom, you know, and I wouldn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're really close with your dad.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Norman. I'm having the pieces.
It's so cute.
But then our relationship is flip-flop because you with your dad and me with my mom.
Right.
But the only thing is, like, in regards to my mom, I genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
I don't think it's weird.
Because everyone's like, I'm like, no. Like,
I know, Miss Denise be chasing you around.
Yeah, I'm like, good.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's weird. I don't know. I think it's some of that stuff like seeps into parts of your life and you don't even notice it. And then you just learn to deal with it as you grow older. Like, it is what it is, you know?
I've always been it is what it is.
Yeah. And you can't make somebody love you.
You can't.
Even if they're your own parents, which is sad but true. Like,
yeah, you can't. It is what it is. You know, sometimes you just have certain things you have to accept and move on. But I know for a lot of people that's hard. Like, they hold on to that and it manifests in everything that they do.
Oh yeah,
and it hinders them from progressing. But
yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, I like cried to myself. I was angry. Like, what was it about me that wasn't enough? You know, and it, no child should have to question like if they're enough for their
any
parents.
males that are watching this, be mindful. You know what I mean? Like, don't get and females too, but more so I'm talking to the men at this moment. And then I'm gonna talk to you women. Don't get with someone that you wouldn't want to have a child with. I don't care how good looking they are. You know what I mean? Because the end result is you have a child with somebody that you don't really care about, and then the child punishes because maybe she's being spiteful or bitter, or you're being spiteful or bitter because you didn't want the kid in the first place, or she's like, well, since you don't want to be with me, you can't see your child. And then the child suffers, and then there's a lot of internalizing, like, maybe if I was this, if I was that. And that's not fair to a child.
Yeah. As an adult, we grow up with this stuff. Like, 40, 50-year-olds are still dealing with, like, mommy, daddy issues.
Yes.
You know, I was like, I don't need to be like that. And the catalyst that made me finally go to therapy was that I was like, I don't want to turn into my dad. You know, my dad is a person who ups and leaves and takes no responsibility for his responsibilities. And I was like, that can't be me, because I saw how it hurt me and my brother. And I was like, I refuse to do that to somebody else subconsciously, you know? So therapy is so important. Like, so yeah.
So he wasn't in your brother's life either?
He was more so in his life than he was in mine.
Why is that, you know?
That was his boy, his junior. He pledged the same frat in the same chapter, like, you know, so he had a lot of pride for him.
That's my son.
For me, he didn't have to acknowledge me, you know, just like, what is it about me? Blah, blah, like,
trash.
All that stuff. I was like, I spent
terrible.
Too long crying over that. So the only thing I would say is that therapy kind of opened my eyes up to, you know, what if something happened to him? Like, would I want to leave it off on this note? Like, I would want to let him know, like, I forgive him and I'm always open for a relationship when he's ready, if he's ever ready. And if he doesn't, then I open the door. But I can't make him walk.
Well, what if you reach out and you say you forgive him and he says to you, forgive me for what?
Address, please. Address. Let's go. Drop the pen. Like, he wants to fight. He wants to fight. That's basically what he's telling me. Like, it goes from 0 to 100 with me and this guy. Like, it goes from, oh, I'm so sad, to like, oh no, let's fight on the street. Like, I'll
forgive me for what?
Like, like, what you mean? You know what you did. Like, let's not be like that, sir.
I did the best that I could with what I had.
Alright.
That's what they be saying in the movies.
Yeah, in the movies. That's where it stays. That stuff don't apply in real life.
Oh, it is so funny.
No. Mm-mm. No, I think he's very much aware of his mistakes. I'm not trying to call him out on it or anything, or make him even admit it, but
I hope you're watching.
It's funny. This dude tried to like message me on LinkedIn. He was like, you know how you can see people who viewed your profile? Mm-hmm. So my own father viewed my profile. I'm like, what do you want? Like, you have my numbers. It's been the same since high school. Like, you can call me.
He went looking for you?
Yeah, he was.
You gotta search.
Mm-hmm. He be stalking me sometimes, and I'm like, well, you see, I'm doing well. Yeah. The resume is nice. Like,
sir, I got a job.
Yeah, like, you can always reach out anytime. So.
And he messaged you on LinkedIn?
Mm-hmm.
Saying what?
Hey, I hope you're doing well. Like, it was very short. It wasn't like call me or get together. Just like, hey, I hope you're doing well. For the most part. And I didn't respond. I was like, what? I don't know.
How recent was that?
Huh?
How recent was that?
This was some years ago.
No.
Yeah, this was some years ago.
Have you spoken to him since?
Mm-mm. No, I have not. So
I'm not a fan of burritos. So when you picked that, I was like, oh my god.
I should have got a quesadilla. Obviously, that's probably a little better.
That's good. You know, I was just like, I looked it up, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of burritos. Anything that's kind of wrapped up.
Brother? Oh my gosh, you are such a Capricorn. My friend Natalie, who is also a Capricorn, she doesn't like sandwiches. Like anything in between bread is just like a off-putting to her. But she'll eat it normally as long as it's not in between bread. It's just really weird.
That's fine. I just don't like the fact that I don't know what's in it.
Well, you ordered it. You know what's in it.
No, but just because I ordered it don't mean that they put all that in there.
Oh God! So you gotta pick it apart.
I know. I would never buy it. That's it. Like we're not even opening up to pick it apart because we're not getting it. So, guys, don't mind. You've been seeing me you're gonna see me with the same hairstyle for a minute. I don't even care.
It's not bad though, in all this humidity.
Yeah, girls, because when it gets too humid, I don't go outside. I promise you, every day I check the humidity, and if it's above 60, I won't go outside.
Really? Oh my gosh.
At some point, I'm gonna wash my hair and wear it in an afro.
Yes,
but
I never see your hair, like never. But that's because we're always in the kitchen.
Yeah, we're always in the
kitchen,
kitchen, so it's like wrapped up because I'm not trying to.
I've seen it a handful of times since I've known you.
Every time I go to that kitchen, I always look like I need to be served.
Right? Going to kitchen, ma'am. Serve 12.
I need to be served myself.
Yeah,
but my thing is like I am there to work.
True.
I'm not trying to see nobody in there. I don't need them saying nothing to me. They already trying to throw the little things in there. Me looking like
They do that just cause
I look
they like
crazy. My hair be wrapped up.
They don't
I have
care.
my glasses on.
They don't care.
I'm looking straight unattractive. Looking crazy, and then they still be like,
oh, I still love it.
Chanel.
Oh yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like, sir.
You love her.
Oh, so that the day when just off topic.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back on there or whatever, just chatting. You can listen. The day that we had the board meeting and I had lunch with Crystal, I came in there with my I'm not staying outfit on. And they were like,
who is that?
You look like that. Why don't you dress like that all the time?
Who wants to be that dressed up? Why we come in too early? most
No.
times. See, we got water splashing on, it's
Oh,
grease.
and it's hot, and it smells like chicken.
Yeah. You ain't trying to wear nothing good up in there.
I try to wear my good clothes. I've been wearing them. Not just I wash the jeans, but most times I'm wearing the same pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Clean.
Same
But the same, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to look all fancy or whatever. All right.
Yeah.
So we've come to the segment where we're having dessert. Okay.
Dessert.
So guess what? So you have to guess what you think the dessert is.
Okay.
You guys guess too. What do you think it is?
I know it's not frozen because it would have melted by now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a cake or some type of cake, a pound cake or something.
All right. Let's see if she's right.
Because I'm black. And it's always pound. What is this? Oh, fruit tart?
Yeah, she's wrong. Ain't no pound cake.
That's cute. I need a fruit tart. I don't need no cake.
We have our fruit tart.
Yes. Are you a big dessert person?
I don't really care for cake. Certain desserts like I love.
Yeah, sweets. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that pretty? Alright.
I'll eat anything with fruit on it though.
I'll take this one. And you can have those two.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna eat both.
You call me evil?
No, I said, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna eat both.
Oh, take that
No way.
one home. Alright, isn't this so pretty, guys?
So cute.
So cute.
I don't even want to touch it.
Well, we get to take that one home. This is so pretty. Alright, do you have any tips for anyone that's an only child and they're feeling lonely, or like you, they discover that their mom. Ooh, Jesus.
Ooh, that was a big one. Damn, like we are stirring up something we're not supposed to. So I was like, let's eat this fruit tart.
Yeah, so do you have any advice for anyone that's like an only child going through something, or who recently discovered that their parents were not being truthful about the other parent?
I would say with like anybody with trauma, like therapy helps. There are cheap, free options out there, especially for Black women. Like we need it. I would say just embrace people, especially like new friends, sisterhood, brotherhood. Like even if you've been an only child your whole life and like you don't have like any parents or anything like that, like there is someone out there like who will show you that love that you've missed, because there is a void that is hard to fill. Some people say you never feel it, but I've been blessed and fortunate to have like some really good friends who have ended up like sisters basically. So I would say just embrace love, look for it where you can find it, make sure it's healthy. And that's about it.
Comment, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.